Alright guys, let's go ahead and jump in. Thanks for joining me. We're going to do the Solo D&D stream again. This is session 39. Right there in front of me on the screen. Not a lot of preamble on this one. I think we're going to jump straight in because we kind of left off at... we're about to start a combat. So just the quick recap, because I know it's been a couple weeks. More than a couple, I think. We're going to jump in. What happened is we were our adventurers are looking for that area of respite in this dungeon, and they kept going. They're avoiding the goblins, they're avoiding the gnolls, they're avoiding the orcs, and they found themselves what they think is a secluded little place off of the map they found off of one of the dead bodies that looks like it's a crypt, sort of an undead mausoleum, or a mausoleum. And so they're like, alright, they got there, it was, I believe, locked on the outside. They were able to get inside. They realized that it hadn't been trashed yet. Most of the other things have been pretty well picked over as far as loot and things like that, but this has been left pretty pristine. So we figured, oh, well, if nobody else is coming in here, this is probably a good spot for us to have ourselves a little rest. Because nobody was maybe going to mess with us while we're in here. So we did that, and we went in there, but... I couldn't stop my own nature. Our characters couldn't stop their own nature. It's that there is a dead body in there that had a very shiny golden ring. And I was like, well, before we take the rest, we could at least look at the magic item, because we knew it was a magic item. So, did that. Unfortunately, that did not have great repercussions for us. Leah reached out to take care of it, to go and grab it, and it ripped her, she failed her save, it ripped her soul right out, and she crumpled to the floor. So as far as everybody else is concerned, the rest of our sidekicks, we've got Imbar, we've got Delg, we've got Ott, everybody's... actually, everybody's looking okay right now, because we did take a short rest, but we're looking to do a long rest at this point. Because we are running short on hit dice and things like that, and things that we need back from a long rest. But basically what they see is they're standing there at the entranceway. They see Leah, she's doing her Leah wizard thing with the magic item. And she touches this thing, and as she touches this golden ring, she just crumples to the ground. And we don't know, they have no idea why. And as she crumples to the ground, our undead figure jumps up, sits up straight in their sarcophagus, and turns its attention to them. And then we rolled some initiative, and that's what we did. Imbar's going to be up first, followed by Leah, who's KO'd. She is soul shunted. It apparently ripped her soul into the ring, but I don't think that I don't believe she shared any of that information with the rest of her companions, because I don't think anybody else was going to get it. She's the only one who's really sort of arcane magic inclined. So nobody else knows what happened. She touched the ring, she dropped, she's not moving. Undead getting up. So, we're doing ourselves an undead fight. Now, I was looking back through this, and one of the things that we had for our dressing for this little mausoleum is the constant pitter-patter of moving water. So when I was thinking about, okay, what undead do we want to use for this encounter? So, take a look at it real quick. Oop, that's the wrong one. Let's look at this. Alright, so we've got 4 players of 4th level. And we do get access to vampire spawn, which I think is what I want to use, but I want to double check. Because the only issue I have with it is that I think only one of us has a magic weapon. If I remember correctly. I don't believe anybody else does. I believe Imbar is the only one. Yeah, she has the Moon Touch Longsword. And the problem is that I believe... because I don't want to put us in a spot where we just straight up kill all our characters. That's not fun. Actually, just do it here. So I want to make sure that we'll see what their resistances are. So we have a vampire spawn at 5. Though it looks like we have some lower ones, so maybe we'll use one of those instead. That are from a different book, but this is because they're going to have damage resistance, necrotic, bludgeoning, piercing, slashing from non-magical attacks, which is basically everybody else. So everybody's going to be doing half damage, which is not great, and they have a bunch of hit points. They're harmed by running water. We don't have any way to make running water. We could stake a heart, Maybe. We have some spears, so that would technically work. But we don't have any way to cast daylight. We don't have any running water. Just the sound of it. Just the magical sound of it. But we don't have anything like that. So maybe that's going to be... I think that's going to be a little high for us. So I'm thinking, maybe the Mind Drinker. The Mind Drinker's pretty cool. Oh, and I guess the Mind Drinker vampire from... GGR. Which one's GGR? I can't remember. Only has damage resistance against necrotic. Does have shadow stealth. Okay, so can hide around here. So that will be pretty difficult. So let's maybe use the Mind Drinker vampire instead. It's like I said. We have it. Technically, if we do vampire, let's do vampire. So if we did vampire spawn, that would be a hard encounter for 4 characters. But technically, as far as we know, we're only going to have 3 in there because Leah is KO'd, and we don't know how to bring Leah out of that. And that's a deadly encounter with a group that's already hurt. I want it to be hard. I don't want it to be impossible. And plus, that's a 5th CR, a CR5 creature, and that's kind of outside our adventure band. So I don't want to pop us up into the next level, because that should be, when we start getting into higher CRs, that brings us into really something that should be dealt with player characters that are 5th level in that second band of 5 to 10, where everybody has double attacks and things like that. So I think what we're going to use is, the other one. And so I think we're going to use, I guess this Mind Drink vampire, maybe a kobold vampire. Ooh, actually, the Knoll vampire would be kind of cool. Oh, that's much higher level. Never mind. That's not going to be good for us. What does this kobold guy do? He's a CR3. They have regeneration. Yeah, they have pack tactics, which is tough. They have all the same things. Bite. Target's hit point maximum is reduced by the amount equal to the necrotic damage taken. The reduction lasts until the target finishes a long rest. If the target dies at the hit points maximum is reduced to 0. Ooh. That's not great. That's really tough. Can we handle 2 CR3s? If so, maybe we'll do 2 CR3s. Let's get these out of here. But again, it's going to be really tough for them because only one person has magic weapons. So, that's dicey. It's a dicey thing to throw at them. So what if I did... What about 2 of these guys? Alright, 2 of those guys is deadly. 2 CR3s for our party is deadly. If with all 4. So I guess I go with the... 1/4 level. Which would be a medium for 4 players. And a medium that feels hard. Okay, a medium that feels hard feels right. Alright, so we're going to go with that 4th level. So we're going to go with the... What is it, the Mind Drinker? Yeah. I really wanted to use Vampire Spawn, but... I mean, that's just what we had. There are other options that we can do. Probably not Banshee, not Bone Naga. We could do a Revenant, not a Revenant, a Deathlock. That would make a lot of sense for this magic item to have. We could do Deathlock. So maybe I'll change my mind. I'm not 100% sold on it. We have the Deathlock White or just the Deathlock. Ooh, that guy's got Life Drain. That's not great. Turn resistance unusual. Doesn't require any airfit or sleep. Language is new and like, yeah, it still's got the same damage resistances, but only has 36 hit points, which is much more capable for us to deal with. Yeah, let's go with Deathlock. They'll have the multi-attack. They'll have the Grave Bolt. That's super dope. Turn resistance not going to matter. Unusual nature's not going to matter. I guess that's kind of a boring creature, though. If I'm being truly honest. So, no, I'm going to go back. We're going to use the Vampire. We're going to use the Mind Drink Vampire. just because I like the shadow stealth, it'll be able to do... I think that's going to be a little bit more thematic for us. Alright, so that's our monster. We're going to use the Mind Drinker Vampire. They have 55 hit points. Well, I guess I haven't rolled initiative, because if I had rolled initiative, I didn't know what the thing was going to be. So how would I know what its initiative is? So its initiative is 14. This is our Mind Drinker Vampire. And they had how many hit points? 55. 55. Alright, so now let's roll some initiative. We're just going to go down the line, so we'll do Imbar. Nope, she's going after. Leah, going after that. Dilg is high up there. Ott's even higher. Okay, so it's going to be Ott, Delg, and then Imbar and Leah are down here at the bottom. And we'll have to figure out... I have no idea what we're going to do about that soul shunted ring. That came out of left field. That was just something we improvised on the fly at the end of the last session. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out, I guess. If you have ideas about what to do, let me know. Otherwise, we're going to jump into it. Alright, so Leah goes down. This thing pops up. Nasty looking vampire. Ott goes, oh no, I don't want that. Let me move these guys in the correct order. So we're going to do... What? We're going to do Delg, Imbar, and Leah. Alright, so Ott's up first. This room is fairly small. So this thing's going to be able to get to us pretty easily. So I'm wondering if she runs in and just tries to... I think the best tactical advantage is to run in and just get in there with the spear. She's better with the bow, but with the spear she can give Imbar advantage with flanking, which is going to be important because she's the only one with a magical weapon. So her being able to hit is going to be very, very important. So that's what that's what Ott's going to do. She's going to run in and she's going to flip around behind and yeah, and she'll just take a couple steps. I don't think there's going to be any place for her to really hide. She's got to get in the melee with this thing. So she will make 2 spear attacks. Alright, well that 5's certainly not going to hit, but that's going to hit. Alright, so she is going to do 3 plus 2, so 5 points of damage. That, let me double check, but I am pretty sure that is... Oh no, this is the vampire that doesn't have resistance to BSP. Doesn't matter. I don't think she knows that. Well, the attacks are going to be pretty similar either way. Yeah, I'll just say that she moved in. Because she would otherwise shut her bow, but it doesn't really matter. It's going to be 5 points of damage. Doesn't matter. So we're going to hop in and... So she'll take... Okay, we'll take 5 points of damage. So 55 down to 50. Hey, what's going on? We're rolling on some vampire killing, apparently. Let's see if we can figure out Leah's situation. She's KO'd, soul shunted. We got to figure that out. But first we got to kill this vampire. So that's Ott going down to Delg. Delg's in the back. He's going to... I'm going to give him a charisma check. Yeah, I'm going to do a roll under on Delg's charisma to see if he's brave enough to go grab Leah and start pulling her back, if he can try to figure out what's wrong with her. So he does not have a lot of charisma. He did not roll under his charisma. Alright, so he is instead going to sit in the back and he'll sling at it. And Delg does what Delg does. He's not really a combatant, so he does not hit, and that's not surprising for any of us. Alright, well, that's Delg's turn. He's going to huddle in the corner, but this is a small room. This vampire can get to anybody in this room. I don't think they want to leave, because there's all sorts of nasty stuff outside. They really don't want to be fighting more than one creature at a time. Speaking of, it is our Mind Drinker Vampire's turn. I don't think the vampire's hurt enough yet to try and bite Leah. I think it's going to try to use its Mind Siphon. Target must make a DC 14 intelligence saving throw with disadvantage if the vampire has previously consumed the target's blood. Hasn't consumed his blood yet. Ooh, 28 psychic damage. 8d6 psychic damage. Whoa! Whoa! For a CR3 creature, dang. Alright, one person's hurt them already, but they're technically in melee with it. It doesn't have like a cunning action, quickly disengage or anything, so... Alright, we're gonna turn around and try to... bite... Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. It's not an attack roll, it's a save. Yeah, so it's gonna turn around and... kind of open up its mind as it stares tries to stare deeply into Ott's soul. And see if you can thrash her mind. Alright. Intelligence save for Ott. She's not very good at those. This will probably go poorly. It did. It did. That's not good. Alright. 8d6. Okay, I rolled pretty low. That could have been way worse. But 23 damage in one go is not good. That's, you know, most of her hit points. And she gets her mind thrashed. Discerns the target's surface emotions, hostility. Ott's a big... She's a big fuck-off knoll. So, she's big and she's mean. Yeah, that's sort of target general state, but not his thoughts. Didn't pass. Alright, but it's on the recharge, which is important. Okay. Alright, we gotta kill this thing, and we gotta kill it fast. We're not gonna be able to take hits like that. Recharge! Alright, which brings us down to Imbar. Imbar's going to throw herself into the fray, jump over probably Leah's unconscious body, probably straddle it with her warrior prowess and get in there and she's got flanking. She's gonna move into flanking, and she's gonna try to slash it. It doesn't really matter because they're not gonna be they're not resistant to BSP, bludgeoning, slashing, or piercing damage like a normal vampire. So, but yeah, let's say she unsleeves the Moon Touch longsword, so she pulls out the longsword, and this pale moonlight fills this room on top of what they already have with their lantern, and she starts wailing into this thing. She only gets the one attack. Let's make it good. She does have advantage. Fingers crossed. Okay, 14 definitely gonna hit though on the die. Alright, now the good thing is that she gets to do a lot of damage because she's in flanking. So she gets to do her 1d8 plus 2d6 plus 2. So, high rolls, high rolls. Max, minimum damage. That's below average. Actually, it's about right on average, unfortunately. Alright, 12 points of damage. Hey, 12 points is 12 points, I guess. Down to 38. Leah. I'm trying to think. Is there anything that Leah can do? I don't think there's anything Leah can do. But is there something Harold can do? Let's just roll an Oracle roll. Is there something Harold can do? Let's just ask that right off the bat. Harold, of course, for those who don't know, is her spellbook. I say don't know because we unfortunately haven't used Harold a lot. He is a soul that is stuck in her spellbook, who's been contained in her spellbook after he was murdered. So she has a sentient spellbook that sometimes talks to her. We just haven't used it very often because we haven't had good luck with him giving us very good answers. But he is somebody who, because of his condition, might know something about this and has maybe some limited things he can do. So let's just ask an Oracle roll. Is there something Harold can do that's going to be helpful in this situation? I think -3, because I don't think so. He's a book. So we just need to roll 11 or better, -3, so we need to roll a 14 or better. Alright, so there's nothing here I can do. I was trying to think if there's some sort of save or something Leah can do, but I don't think unless she can touch the ring again that she can get her soul pulled back into her. Here's a question. Can she battle the vampire for control of the vampire's body? Because the vampire's wearing the ring. I think that's extremely unlikely. -5. But let's, you know, we're blue skying it. We're seeing, we need help. Let's see if there's any help, if the universe will give us any help. The universe says, yeah, you could have some help. Thank you, universe. We could use it. I think that's just a contested, something like that feels like a contested either intelligence or charisma roll. It's a power of spirit though, so that makes me want to do charisma. But let's see which one is this this bad guy better at. Because she's okay at both. Better at intelligence, she's also, they have kind of similar stats in that area. With 19 and 14, and Leah's got a 16 and a 14. So yeah, we'll make it intelligence. So, they're gonna make a contested roll using intelligence. This guy gets +4. So our vampire gets +4. Alright, not bad. 15. Alright, she didn't beat it. So they have a battle of minds that happens within that sort of psychic... That makes sense. He's a psychic vampire anyways. This thing, is holding its head as Leah starts to try to assert dominance over the vampire's body with her own spirit. And it's able to fight her back. But, you know, the battle is probably closer than it thought it was going to be. She's more resilient than this vampire probably thought. And that brings us down to... That's everybody. So we're back up at the top. So Ott's back there. Also has advantage now. Makes a stab. Natural 20. You love to see it. With the spear and the second attack. Is also gonna hit. So 2d8 plus 4. Actually, it's gonna be 3d8 because we crit. 38 plus 4. Alright, so it could be better, but 15 points of damage. That's not too bad. Alright, which is going to take us down to 23. We're getting there. We're getting there. Over halfway there. The vampire is not looking great. The vampire hasn't had a chance to suck anybody's blood yet. Delg's in the back. Delg, we're going to do that charisma saving throw, see if he can pull Leah's body. I don't believe that's under his charisma. His charisma is a 10, right? Yep. Alright, so instead, he's just going to use a sling again on it. And hits this thing right in the head, right in its stupid face with a sling stone, with a rock, just BAM! As it's whipping around, you know, holding its head, fighting Leah, and scratching at the other people that are in the room, trying to grab them. At this point, trying to grab one and bite one, because it needs the hit points. That's not what I'm doing. Just a straight d4 for his damage, 2 points of damage. Hey, every little bit helps. Speaking of, it's their turn. We'll do their recharge, but I don't think that they're going to have to drink. They recharge. Fabulous. Now that 8d6, psychic damage is back on that. Ugh. A disadvantage to the vampire because the Battle of Minds is not sure it works like that, though. I mean, there's nothing that comes up with it. I don't think it's disadvantage because this is a smart vampire. It's a psychic vampire. Specifically. I think maybe if it was a standard vampire, but this one's very much a psychic vampire, so... And it's got a very high intelligence. It's got more intelligence than our actual wizard does. So, alright. It's got to drink somebody's blood. Well, one of these people is wearing heavy armor, and one of these people is not, who's right next to it. So it's going to jump on Ott and try to suck her blood. So let's see. Multi-attack makes 2 attacks, only one of which can be a bite attack. So she'll make the vampire's going to make its bite attack first. bite, or a creature that is grappled by the vampire, incapacitated, or restrained. Leah's right there. Alright, let's ask the Oracle. Is it going to try to eat Leah? I think that's extremely likely. Knowing that it's looking for somebody who's incapacitated. So +5. Yeah. Reach down to go after Leah. It's almost impossible to miss. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's going to hit Leah. Yeah, 17's going to hit Leah. It was surprisingly close, though. And it's... The problem is that she's incapacitated, so it's automatically a crit. Alright, and so it's going to be do 2d6 plus 4. Alright, so she's going to take 10 points of standard damage. And then she's going to take 4d6 of necrotic damage. I don't know if they thought about that when they were making this vampire. Is that there's a likelihood, if it's incapacitated or restrained, that it's going to be doing a lot of crit damage. Which is really tough for a creature that does 3d6 plus normally and gets 2 attacks. That's a ton. But is going to do 4d6 necrotic damage, which is not great. Yeah. Alright, 11 points of necrotic damage. She does not look good. She has 6 hit points. And this is going to get... oh, it's reduced by the number, right. I forgot. So they're down to, actually, 16 is their max now. Which is not good. But they do get 11 hit points back, I believe, right? Green's hit points equal to that. Yeah. Alright, let's gotta get some hit points back to 32. Not good. We're gonna have to get Leah out of there. Now that Leah's actually being munched on as a little afternoon snack. Is there anything else this creature wants to do? Isn't dim... Well, there's a lantern in here, and the lantern does provide... And it's a small room. So there is a bright light in here. So technically cannot use the shadow stealth. Because there's no... They're in bright light, not dim light. Oh, they're not in sunlight, though. I guess just turns around and tries to wail on... There's not really... I guess I could try to leave. It's pretty beat up. Well, I really should have rolled for its morale first. Let me do a morale check just real quick. It's got pretty good charisma. Yeah, it made the morale check anyways. So, it's going to stay in the fight. It's going to go after our girl Ott. And roll a 17 on the die, so that's for sure going to hit. That's going to hit all day long. And does minimum damage with 5 bludgeoning damage. And can grapple the target if it is a creature. And, well, has a hand free, sure. And grapples Ott. I don't know what that's going to get them at this moment, but how much did I say? 5 points. So she's in rough shape too after that big psychic attack. Delg, you're gonna have to do something, buddy. You're gonna have to do something here. You're waiting for somebody to... Actually, I don't think this one turns somebody into a vampire spawn. I'm not super familiar with this type of vampire. This doesn't work like a normal vampire, which is kind of weird. So yeah, if somebody dies, they don't turn into a vampire spawn because of this one. Something specific about this type of vampire. Alright, everybody's in very bad shape. Ott is grappled. So Ott can't get away. I'm just gonna put it down here. She's grappled. Alright, that's our Mind Freaker vampire. Imbar, okay. Imbar, I need you to come through with a big hit right here. You still got advantage. That's 19. Which is normally not a big deal, but Imbar's a warrior, and she crits on 19s. So now she gets to 2d8 and 4d6 of damage. So that's going to be helpful. So I think she may have just turned the tide on this thing. Yeah, so she does 21 points of damage to it. Which is... That's a bit of a godsend for us. That's exactly... So, yeah. So, this thing turns around and reaches down, grabs Leah, picks her up, bites into her sort of neck in this gnarly sort of bite, drops her and turns around and grabs Ott, I think probably by the throat, and is like throttling her. And as it's throttling Ott, who's much taller than her, so it's kind of like reaching up, Inbar's behind her and sort of throws her shield to the side, and you see that pierced moonblade just jut out of this thing's chest, out of its heart. And there's this searing sort of like sizzle of flesh around it as the magic weapon glows through it. And it howls. That was a good hit. That was a good hit. Leah will try to... Alright, I'm just gonna ask the Oracle. Does Leah get advantage on her next sort of mind attack with this thing just because... Well, no. I'm going to say that offset is that the physical damage done to her body and the physical damage done to the vampire's body is going to zero each out. So, vampire is going to make a contested strength check. Yeah, there's no way she's going to beat that, I don't think. No. She tries to fight for control of the mind. It does not work. Leah bleeds on the floor. Which brings us back up to the top. So, Ott. Ott looks real rough. She is really hurt. This thing is throttling the life from her. After it's already sort of shredded her mind. Ott is... I think at this point, Ott's in that sort of null rage. She does not... She's not using that frontal cortex part. Like, she's full lizard brain at this point. And so she's in the fury, I think. But she's going to make 2 attacks, and she doesn't have any... I don't believe you have disadvantage when you're grappled. It's an action to try to escape out of the grapple. And she can't do that as a bonus action with her cunning action. So she will instead... This thing is grappling her, it's got a sword sticking out of it, and she's just going to raise her spear above her head and just try to jam it into this thing a couple of times. And we'll see what happens. She has advantage on both. That first one for sure is hitting. And that second one for sure is hitting. Alright. And she does 15 points of damage. That is enough to kill our Minddrinker vampire. So, there's a sword sticking through it. This thing is throttling her. You see the sort of like capillaries in Ott's like eyes start to burst as she starts to suffocate. And she, with her great strength, just roars and lifts up her spear and jabs it like through the throat part, like down into the rib cage. And just pulls it out, a bunch of gore out with it, and just stabs it back in deeper and deeper until she takes it all the way to the ground as those fingers start to loosen on her throat. And yeah, she takes it to the ground, and they are left to their own devices, and the mausoleum is still once more. Okay, well, that was harrowing. That was very close to being a very, very bad fight for us. It was very, very tough. Burn him so you can feel the mind slide away and die in agony. You should have known better than being a psi type. Yeah. I wanted to use a regular spawn, but that was definitely going to kill us. So, I'm glad I went with this one. And I'm glad that we're about to take a long rest, because we got to get those maximum hit points back up on Leah, because she does not have enough hit points as a wizard already, and having her hit point max reduced is real bad. So, we need to get that done. But first, we got to figure out what we're going to do about Leah's, soul. I don't think anybody has any arcana except her. Nobody else knows basically anything about magic, because we did not bring Omer with us. Omer would be helpful here, but Omer's not here. He's less of a combatant than Delg is. So yeah, is anybody intelligent here? Not particularly. Certainly not Ott. Ott's kind of a dum-dum. I think Ott is still in her blood rage. Technically, she would have a rampage bonus action. So even as she takes this thing down to the ground, she like rips its throat out with her teeth, even though it's dead flesh. And I think she spits that out, and that probably calms her down because she doesn't get that sort of visceral, living warm blood sensation that she's used to. And I think that kind of snaps her out of her blood rage. All right, and let's see if our dum-dums are going to put their heads together and see if they can figure out how to do this. I think it's probably going to be as simple as like taking the ring off the vampire and putting it on Leah's finger. I think that's probably going to be as easy as it is, but do these dum-dums figure that out? I'm going to give them advantage because they're going to groupthink this. Oh, and they rolled really well. What is the DC for this room? I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think it's a 19. But let's double check. It is... Oh, it's only DC 11. Yeah. They figured it out. It takes them a little bit, but they get it. I think... now that's where Harold will be helpful. I think because they know that Harold can talk. So I think they kind of open the book and kind of talk to Harold, and Harold's, has a stream of consciousness sort of writing that goes across the pages. Usually he's just kind of muttering to himself because there's nothing else for him to do, and being a soul trapped in the book. But given sort of like specific questions, he can be helpful, and he is knowledgeable in the arcane matters. Being a librarian for an arcane conservatory like academy, so he's pretty knowledgeable. So yeah, and it tells him, hey, I think if you just put the ring back on her finger, she'll probably pop back awake. I think they draw straws. Okay, who draws the low straw? It's 2. Who's going to have to do this? I think it's probably going to be Delg. It's either going to be Delg or Imbar. I don't think anybody's going to convince Ott to do it, but we'll see, just in case. Yeah, it's Imbar. Imbar and Leah have had some trauma bonding. They're much closer. They used to be... Imbar used to not really like Leah because of some past events, but they've really come close together now. And I think Imbar's, I guess, probably doesn't really hesitate. She goes and grabs the ring and slips it onto Leah's finger. And Leah goes, ugh. Oh God. Thanks. Thank you. Next time I want to investigate magic items before we rest. Stop me. He's a book. If he was a dum-dum, I would be surprised. Well, yeah, I mean, anybody can get potentially trapped in a book. You could put a barbarian in a book. A real dum-dum barbarian in a book, technically. Like a mirror trap. That'd be a fun... Actually, future game. We're going to take mirror trap and we're going to change it and put it in a library, and then people who look in the books get trapped in the books. Like storytell adventure style. I'm gonna need to lock that one away for a future game. That's a fun idea. All right. Let's take our long rest. Finally, let's finally take our long rest. This has been a fun dungeon, but man, it is kicking their absolute butts. We're about halfway through it, so I don't know if we actually said... Did we actually say what the ring was? I don't remember if we did or not. I know it's a magic ring. I think it was a ring of mind shielding. I think. I'm going to assume that that is correct. Unless it's in my notes. So first off, does anybody show up? No. Does anybody show up? No. Long rest achieved. Perfect. So we'll do that. But let's go back and check let's check our session notes from last time now, and see what we got. Because I think that there may be a case that I've written it down, but also probably not. Because why would I do that? That would be helpful. It would be cursed book. Yeah. Burn or give to my enemies to deal with. Yeah, speaking of, we're probably going to burn this body, but we don't want to burn it while we're in the tiny enclosed room with it. Because we don't want to die from smoke inhalation either. Or let anybody know that we're in here while we're trying to rest. So we have a weird rest with a dead body who's already undead, so I think everybody's a little on edge, expecting that it could get up at any point, or one of the other bodies in here might get up at some point. But apparently that doesn't happen. Alright, so session 38 from last time. So we got found by an orc patrol while we were taking a rest. We got into a scrape with them, 3 of the orcs escaped, and we've already dealt with all that stuff. They went and they made life much more difficult for us. We took a short rest, we stripped the orcs, and we got some plate armor for Imbar that ended up being able to fit, that was actually pieced together and she was able actually to fit in. We talked to some tomb robbers that we came across. There were also foreigners from the northwest area. They didn't have a lot of information for us. They didn't really know anything about what was going on. They were just kind of here. They're just kind of scavengers. But we did know that they were foreigners. So other people from the northwest, from whatever that state, whatever that faction is, this northwest of Carjuntan, do know about this place, and I guess have been coming here. While backtracking, the group was attacked by Gnoll flesh gnawers. We knew that. We returned to the ruined fountain, where the group was ambushed by gnolls from above, and lots of gnolls so far. It was a bad start to fight, but Leah did use her scroll of fireball that she had just found to kill 5 of the 6 gnolls just outright, just boom, and that was a lot of fun. We found a partially ruined oasis map sketched out by the gnolls. That's how we found the mausoleum. We took a short rest. The map noted the nearby ancient mausoleum might be a good place to hide and take a long rest, which we did. Ott picked the door. Leah found the control panel, which we think is maybe power for the facility, because this is an arcane research facility, along with a time-delayed detainment trap triggered by touch. We did found a ring of mind shielding. That is what she found. Trying to remove the ring, her soul was shunted into the ring and she fell unconscious. We let that be the trap. The undead awoke. We rolled for initiative. We did that fight. So that's everything we needed to do. That's okay. So we undid muscle and roll from this. We got tore up by a psychic vampire. But we prevail. And we're gonna take a long rest. Imagine being powerful and dead by default and then getting killed by some random people because they decided to mess with you. Yeah. That's the weird thing, is that there was other people in this dungeon who recognized what this was and were like, yeah, we're not gonna mess with that. and left it locked and shut. Potentially locked, probably to keep people out of it. And it in. But yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? Adventurers being adventurers, so they're gonna get in there and make a bunch of trouble. And trying to get away from fights goes directly into another fight. But that's where we are, so let's do our long rest. Let's get everybody back up. Alright. So she goes back up to full health. We get half our hit dice back on long rest, so we're still down 1, but that's okay. She doesn't have any other abilities that we need to worry about. Delg. Gonna get his hit points back. He is just straight up out of hit dice. But he is going to get 2 of his back. And we've got... He doesn't have anything else going on, is he? Nope. And we didn't use any of the healer kits, so we don't need that. Inbar is going to get 2 hit dice back. We're still low on hit dice, but... what are you going to do? Imbar and Ott are going to switch arrows. Stacks, because that's going to make more sense. Because Ott will for sure be shooting more arrows. Generally. Imbar doesn't have anything else that she needs to do. Leah's who we really need to worry about. she gets her full hit points back, thankfully. And she'll get all her hit dice back. She's been doing a good job of being a wizard, which is standing in the back and trying to avoid getting attacked. And then, unfortunately, screwing herself over like she did right in this fight, right at the beginning. So she has to use 1 for mage armor, because she's going to have to recast that after her rest. And we're going to get 1d4 plus 1 charges back on the Wand of Magic Missile. 4. Okay, good. So almost all of them. I don't think we've looted this room. Have we looted this room? No, because the last thing I have down on Treasure Notes is our partial dungeon map. So we have not tried to loot the room. So now we will attempt to loot the room, I guess. Leah will do the investigating because she's the best investigator. She has a +5. She'll have advantage. People are helping her. She rolled a 9 with advantage. Great job. Okie doke. Yeah, if we don't find anything, it's a. I think for Leah, it's a combination of not finding anything, but also not looking very hard, because the last time she found a shiny thing, it blew up in her face. So she's like, "Oh no, there's not. I don't really see anything." And I think they're like, "All right." So we're gonna move on. Is there? I don't think we've done. Let's go down to our dungeon. Have we done anything else about the mausoleum? We did the heavy reinforced lock trap treasure. I don't think we've done the exits. We know this. Sorry, I didn't put this down here. There are no secrets or exits here. So we did an investigation check. I didn't do an investigation check specifically for secret stuff, though. Do we find any... What are we doing secret-wise? Okay, so we would have passed that. Alright, so let's find out. Are there any exits in this area other than the one way we came in? Okay, let me check my map. Like I said, it's very low-tech. I just have a hand-scribbled map. It's not a big deal. Alright, we're in room 6. Are there any exits in this room? So to the left of us. Or sorry. So that's up. Okay, so we have an exit up. And to the left. So we'll do this. So we'll call this 8. We'll call this... Alright, question. Does that go to 5 or 7? No. Okay. So it's going to go to a full new room. Alright, let's roll another d6. 6. Okay. So those are the only exits in this room. There's a way up, apparently, which is kind of weird for a mausoleum. But it does appear like there is an area, there's a trapdoor in the mausoleum that goes up. And then there looks like there's a doorway off to the side that goes off somewhere. We have not investigated any of those things, and nothing's come to grab us yet. So that's good. That's a good sign. But we don't know what either one of those things are. So where do we want to go? So we could go back to command. That's really the only thing that we know about. Or sorry, 5 is the scriptorium. And that's pretty much as our little hand-scribbled map told us that Ott was able to sort of make heads and tails of, because, you know, she's the only person who speaks Knoll because she's a Knoll. Which is fortuitous for us. So, that's really where we can go. We can go up, which I'm not sure is going to help us with anything. What do you think? I think before we go anywhere, let's let one of our sneaky people go ahead and see if they can. We've got this side passage. Let's see what's in that side passage. Going down there. Ott, I believe, is our sneakiest sneaker. She is indeed. She has expertise in stealth. so she has a +7. So she's gonna maybe do a little sneaky sneak. It's not a very good sneak. It's only a 13. And that's 8. So let's see. Let's roll the DC for that for 8 real quick. That's a very high DC. That's a 20 DC, so she absolutely failed it. So if anything's in there, they absolutely saw her. Off to a great start. Things are looking good. Alright. Bully for us. While we've got the DCs up, let's just do DCs for the other rooms that we already have. Alright, 6 plus 2. Of course, if you want to know how I do this in the 2d6 tables video if you want to figure out. Because obviously I'm not just adding the numbers up. Alright, so that's 12. And then let's do one for the main hall or commons. DC 11. Alright. So, what the heck is going on down here? What's she find? Alright, what is the size of our room? Small. And what's our theme going on here? 6. Oh, the foreign faction. And I didn't apparently roll that for the ancient facility. Because we don't know yet. That's why I haven't done that. We don't know. Alright. I'll just go ahead and roll it. I don't think it's going to make any difference. 5. What was 5? Orcs. Okay, so orcs are here. Alright, and what exactly is our thing down here? I don't think... Alright, I didn't have the sheet here. Sorry. I'm playing in a different game where we're also using these improvised solo delving rules. And I put those in the document. I did not put these in this document, though. I should do that. I should remind myself to do that. But all I need to know is a room type. I'm going to roll 2 d20s, throw them together, figure out what it is. 17, 11. So a 17 is some sort of storage room, and 11 is some sort of knowledge area. So storage of knowledge. Technically, that feels like it should be like a library. But we already have sort of a scriptorium in here. Oh, maybe it's like a storage room for like arcane reagents and things like that. So that'd be fun. Let's do that. It's like a chemicals closet, herbs, all sorts of magical dust, all sorts of weird stuff that's in there. So it's arcane research supplies. Well, this is next to a mausoleum, so let's ask a knowledge, because it could also be like preparations for the dead. Is this a preparations for the dead thing? I think it's 50-50. This is an arcane research facility after all. Okay, it is. Alright, so it is let's say death ceremony preparation and death preparation. Yeah, I don't know what to call that. Yeah, let's say death ceremony prep supplies, I guess. Sure. I'm sure I'll remember what that means. Alright. So the most important things, let's do our dungeon dressing. And then we'll actually do the important thing. Artifacts, ancient stuff, yeah, that kind of stuff. Canoptic jars, all sorts of weird stuff that's in there probably. Lots of salt. Let's see, and 4 and 18 on our dressing. Some sort of minor or utility magical effect. Probably light. It's usually light. And 18. Notably clean or dirty. Yeah, no, it just has a... That makes sense. It's just a magical tidying up spell. It's like an anti-dust spell, I guess. Why not? So this is going to be sort of like a... cleaning... Prestidigitation. There we go. Digitation, effect. Alright, let's say enchantment. So this room that Ott steps into as she kind of gets into it, it's... Most of this place is like crumbling and falling apart. This place, she walks in, it's immaculate. It's totally clean, no dust on it, everything's lined up in perfect order. It's a little weird. But also, she probably doesn't know that there's some sort of enchantment on it, but it... she realizes as she steps into it that she also gets affected by prestidigitation. So she went to the dog groomers, and she's all floofy and looking good now. So all the blood and dirt and stuff is pulled off of her as she gets cleaned by the prestidigitation enchantment as well. And she's got her luscious locks. She's looking great. So that's what she finds there. Now the question is what the heck else is in here? So we're gonna roll 2d6. Spells, sacrificial chants. Yeah. Unusual blood types and potion receipts. Yeah, that sort of stuff. There's probably all sorts of like weird accoutrement for death stuff. All sorts of weird instruments and stuff. I think it's very similar to the bajillion different similar ceremony rooms you run into in like the random Skyrim dungeons. Where like, oh, here's weird tools and weird jars that have just a few gold pieces in it and stuff like that. And all the stuff that you can't actually interact with in Skyrim. Alright, well I rolled a 3 and a 3, which is not great for us. It at least means there's no creatures in here, so nothing just saw her stealthing. But it does mean that this is going to be a pretty significant... Alright, let's ask. Is it multiple traps or tricks? No. Nope, it's not. We'll get to 10. I think that's going to be an interrupt scene. I think that's going to be a fun one. Let's do that because it should be fun. But that does mean... Are we doing mostly traps or... it looks like we didn't... I don't have anything down on it, so I'm going to say 50-50 chance. Alright, is it a functioning trap or trick? No. Alright, so it's some sort of hazard then. Hazard or obstacle. Now we know. Alright, so we're going to walk into this room. So there's a prestidigitation in this room, the cleaning thing. So this is going to be kind of interesting what this ends up being. So 2 is a narrow chasm with a bridge over it. Okay. Which is potentially... That may have a bridge over it, sorry. And 12, unstable ceiling floor. Okay, so this place is literally about to fall apart. This looks like it could collapse at any moment. So... Let's say, like... Floor disappears to darkness below. Pillars are crumbling. Ceiling sagging. So just put it down here. I guess right here. Hazard. The room's just gonna freaking collapse on us. If we, let's say jostle. We jostle too much. We jostle too much. There's a chance that this place is really gonna fall apart. No, I don't think we have to worry about Ott doing it, even though Ott's relatively big creature, she's pretty spry and nimble on her feet, so I don't think her by herself is really going to be that. Though she did roll really well. That was her stealth. You don't need to worry about her stealth. Nothing's going to jump out and attack her in here. And we rolled 3, so there's as far as we know, no treasure in here. So yeah, that's sort of what's in here. It's just sort of an empty room for us. It looks like a bad place to be. She'll give it an investigation check. Just, I guess more of a perception check for her. She's just doing a quick scan. It's 12. And it's still not going to beat... It's not going to beat that DC, though. There's just no way. There's no way. Alright, well... What are you going to do? And I realized that I just started putting all this under the wrong thing. We are not in room 5. We are in room 9. Or room 8. You look? Alright. So we didn't pass that DC. She kind of goes in there, takes a look around. Dang. Technically, that's not a good enough roll, probably, to recognize the severe state of the room. Unfortunately, with the DC 20 for the room. So I think she invites people to come into the room to see. She probably comes back and she's like, "Look, there's a room there. It looks like it's got some sort of maybe religious stuff, some sort of more death-oriented stuff, maybe tied to the mausoleum." Could be more stuff in there. I don't know if you guys want to go have a look or not. I think Leah's a little gun-shy after her last interaction with looking for treasure, so I'm going to say -3. Do they want to have a look? No, they still... Everybody's like, well, we should probably check it. There might be something useful in there. Maybe some bandages, maybe there's going to be some supplies for our healer's kit. We could use a recharge. Actually, are we even down on the healer's kit? No, our healer's kit's fine. But who knows, there could be some potions or something in there, so it's worth maybe taking a look. Alright, so we're going to do that, but more importantly, we're going to have the interrupt. And I didn't put that in here either. Of course I didn't. That would be useful. Alright, we have sort of an interrupt. We did roll an interrupt, so I want that interrupt to happen as they're going in to sort of investigate this room and try to figure out what's going on in it, which is not a lot. What are we going to be our interrupt? All right, let's roll us a subject for our interrupt. I'm gonna roll a 16. Which is an existing NPC. Interesting. So who is that going to be? There's only a few people who could really be here who's not with us. I mean, unless somebody showed up. What do we got down here on factions? We've got... How many factions do we have at this point? We have 8. Yeah, it's time to find out. Alright, so I rolled a 6. Somebody from Split Valley Oasis. 1, 2, 3. This would be a really, really crappy time for Gimbal to show up. So it'd be a really... Norcruth. Bruh. That dude's dead. I can't even remember how to do strike through. I don't remember. But I do remember he's dead. So, it really has to be... If it's going to be one of those two, it's got to be something related to Akari or Gimbal. So, we'll go low, high. That's Gimbal. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean Gimbal, but it could mean somebody related to Gimbal. Alright, well... Shit. Well, I thought we were going to get away from him. But, hey, gotta pay the piper, I guess. What are they doing? 11. Hampering or hindering. Yeah, that would be, you know. I swear, if these guys just collapse this room on us, I'm gonna be so mad. They just show up and collapse our room on us. Alright, they're gonna hamper or hinder us. And what is our object? Who are they in? Who are they dealing with? Location ordinary. Is this an ordinary location? Maybe. Technically it has an enchantment on it, though. And it is an arcane research facility, so... no? I don't know if that makes sense. I'm gonna roll again. Oh, they're hampering or hindering a new NPC. Okie dokes. Existing faction? Let's ask the Oracle. Question mark? No. Alright, we don't have existing factions on here. So it can't be Carjunton, Riverside Conservatory, the Adventurers. Which we... I mean, we gotta add Delg in there. So, no, Delg's aren't... sorry. No, Delg's in here. He's just not under Adventurers. He should be... yeah, he's up there. So, some new faction. So my follow-up question is this... so we have down here the Confederacy of Goblins, Orcs, and Gnolls with foreign backing. But I don't think that includes the foreign backing. You know what? We do know some people that are in here. We have the foreigners, because I don't think the Confederacy includes the foreigners, if I'm being honest. I think I said with foreign backing, so I think the foreigners are separate from the Confederacy. We also have the tomb robbers that are in there. So let's just ask. We'll just ask the Oracle. Is it the tomb robbers? Yeah, okay. So they're hampering or hindering the tomb robbers. So I guess, like, as we're going down there, is there another... maybe this is just an Oracle question for this right now. Is there another way out of this room? Or is this a dead end? Is there another way out of this room? No. Alright, so this is the dead end that we're in. The sort of supply room. And preparation room, whatever the heck this is. So, this is a dead end. And as we're exploring it, I think we hear the sounds behind us as I think the tomb robbers, maybe chased by Gimble's men, are they actively fighting? I think that's extremely likely. Yeah, oh yeah, they're very much fighting. So Gimble's men and our tomb robbers that we met earlier are getting into a fight as they, in this sort of a moving fight, because the tomb robbers don't really want to fight, they want to steal stuff and get out of here. So I think maybe they're trying to run away from Gimble's party, but Gimble's party is like actively pursuing them. What Gimble's party is doing here, we don't know. Is that related to the Ghast? I don't know, we came across Undead, so maybe we'll tie those things together. Okay. I don't really want to put the tomb robbers on here, because I don't think they're going to be a long-standing factions or NPCs, but they are somebody we've already met. We met just recently, so we know they're in there, and we don't have them on the list, so I think that makes sense. Because they're not really an existing person from the list, even though they are existing NPCs. I'm not going to think about it too hard. That's what's happening. So that's what we're going to do. Alright. I'm going to come up here. Let's go to the... while investigating the death ceremony supply room, I guess. Those men are fighting tomb robbers who enter the mausoleum behind us. So that's what happens. Now, my other question is as we bring people into this room and they make a bunch of noise, is that going to impact this? Well, probably not, because their fight previously didn't impact that. But I think they're coming down the hall towards us, because I think the tomb robbers are actively looking for a way out of here. Because I don't think they know the layout, just as we don't know the layout. And Gibble's men are like actively chasing him, so they're chasing him down the hallway into this really, really delicate room that we're already in, and we're like, oh, this is a bad idea, don't come in here. This is dead end, and this whole room's going to collapse on us. Alright, so that is it. We're just going to do, I think, a quick initiative, or maybe we'll just do an oracle roll. Do we get a chance to act before they get here? I think so. I think this is a pretty echoey place. I don't think they're going to sneak up on us. Actually, what this should be is a perception check, I guess, based on the room DC. So who has... I'm going to give them as many bonuses as they can get, because it's a tough DC. It's a 20 DC for this room. So who has the absolute best perception? It's probably Ott with a +4. Or +3. God, I always forget that Leah doesn't have guidance. She does not take guidance. But everybody's there, so Ott's going to get help. But only has a +3. That means we got to roll a 17. Man, that is... It does not look good for us. This room's probably going to collapse on us and do quite a bit of damage to us. Alright, let's roll it. 18. That does not beat our DC. So as they're sort of combing through things and trying to be very delicate, well, actually, they don't even know this room is on the verge of collapsing, unfortunately, because the DC is so high. So I think this is a little bit of narrative irony where we as the audience can see the pillar, like the camera comes back to the pillar as the pillar sort of crumbles as everybody moves around, but nobody in the actual room is actually paying attention to that. Alright, so they come, sounds of fighting as they rush down the hall towards us. People, do they get into the room before pretty much it collapses? Yes. Does everybody get into the room? Yeah. Alright, so a whole bunch of people just rush into the room. And as the fighting's going on, I think one of the person they're fighting slams one of the tomb robbers back against the sort of main support pillar in the room. And then that pillar buckles and gives, and that guy falls on the ground. And dust falls everywhere, and Preston gets immediately prestidigitated away. But then, I think... Is it the ceiling or the floor that's going to collapse first? I think it's the ceiling, so let's ask. Does the ceiling collapse first? Yeah, alright. So the ceiling's going to fall in on this room first. Everybody's making, I guess, dex saves to try to get out of this room. Or get away from sort of crumbling masonry, giant stone blocks that are about to fall down from the ceiling. It is not a good place to be. Thank goodness we took a long rest, because we needed it. This thing's going to kick our butt. Alright, we're just going to go down. I already know what the damage is going to be, so... We're just going to go down the line. We got to beat a DC 20. Let's see if anybody even gets close first. Nope, not even close. Delg. Nope, even further away. Imbar. Imbar. Might actually save. Imbar will save. Nice. So Imbar's able to get out of the way. Still gonna take half damage, but... everybody else take a full damage. Alright. I can't remember how many tomb robbers we had. I think there were like 4 of them. I think it was a pretty standard... I think we were pretty evenly matched. Is that correct? I'll just ask myself. No. Alright. Did they have more? No. Okay, they have less. Or at least there's less of them here. Well, there's only 4 of us, so it's got to be... How many of these dudes are left? One Just one? I guess so. So just the one guy that gets slammed into the pillar, and we notice that guy, and then the pillar collapses, and his eyes go wide as things start falling. And then how many people Gimbal got with him? More than us? Yep, sure enough, that sounds about right. Let's say 2d4, or I guess let's go 4 plus 1d4. 1d4 plus 4. See how many Gimbal. 7. Alright, so there's 7 people with Gimbal. I think I'll give people a perception check, because I don't know if anybody's going to be able to clock whether Gimbal is here or not. So I'm just going to give... Leah's going to be the one who would actually care about that. So it's going to be a roll for her. No, she doesn't have advantage on that. Nah, there's no... Not in this room. This DC's going to kill us. We got to get out of this room. And there's no reason to be in this room. But the whole reason we're in this room is because we failed the DC to recognize that there's not anything in this room. And then the stupid room with its high DC is going to kill us. It's one of the fun quirks about playing with like a standardized room DC, which I got from Index Card RPG, which I really, really like, is that some rooms are just tough. Like, all parts of it are tough. It's tough to find things, the traps are tough, the monsters are tough. There's just tough rooms, and then there are easy rooms. And it's cool, it's thematic, it really kind of ratchets up like tension, like the tension is really high in this room, because we don't know what the heck's going to happen. Alright, everybody make saves! What about our guy on the ground? Well, our guy... I did say he fell on the ground. So it's just advantage on his dex check. Dex save. Yeah, he fails. There's 7 of those guys. Do any of them pass? Yeah. I can't imagine any of them have much more than a +2. But that means 4 of them. So more than half. Which is pretty good. It makes sense. They're probably closer to the entrance. Which is probably more stable. Alright, so 4 of them. And everybody's going to take 20 points of bludgeoning damage. Yeesh. Ow. 11. 18. Just immediately just getting our butts kicked as the ceiling collapses in on us. Well, oh wait, somebody passed. Imbar passed. I am so sorry, Imbar. You're gonna take half damage. So Imbar's doing all right, relatively. What do we think? Let's get some humanoids. Let's get some humanoids to try to figure out what these guys are. There's some bandits. One guy's probably just a bandit, because we did not fight those people, and I don't think they're going to be a bandit captain. I guess I can ask. He is the one surviving member. Is he a bandit captain? Oh, yeah, alright. Cool. I gotta start writing some of this down. Alright, this guy's done. Oh, no longer grappled. We've got, bandit captain. It's one we already met. We're not on unpleasant terms with them. And then we've got, Gimbal's boys. Gimbal? Question mark? There's 7 of them. So we have, what are they going to be? I think I just used guards last time. Did I use anything? Well, I need something that I can have 7 of. Let's put it that way. I need something I can have 7 of. So it can't be those. So it's gotta be something below CR to 1. What about Let's just do goblins just in. Alright, so they're definitely higher than that. So they're probably CR 1/2. Some thugs. Probably thugs, right? Yeah. Alright, so they're thugs. Yeah, I like that. Thugs, I think, have quite a bit of hit points. It's the problem, though. So they're probably going to survive this. Yeah, they have 32 hit points. Alright. So 12, 12, 12. And then 22, 22, 22, and 22. And so these are going to be... Thus, thugs. And the bandit captain's got quite a bit of HP. I know for sure. Yeah, real tough. 65. But did fail. So, down to 45. Just right off the bat. So we find ourselves in this confrontation that goes sideways real quick. As this fight that we just kind of rolls into us as we're sort of trying to investigate this pristine, absolutely pristine, clean sort of storage chamber. But as they do, knocks over the pillar. Dust starts to fall, but that dust is immediately prestidigitated away, and then blocks of stone start to fall and start to crush people. And everybody's in a relatively bad situation. Unfortunately, I think we're in a worse situation than just about everybody else. Again, this dungeon is kicking our butt. It's not a fun place to be. Alright. What are we gonna do? I'm at a loss. I'm not sure. I guess the best thing to do at this point is to go, not necessarily that we're gonna do a fight, but to at least be in initiative order for who's gonna do what when. So, what does the bandit captain go on? Bandit captain goes on 13. And they'll go on 10. 13. 10. Alright. So, hopefully we roll higher if we can get the heck out of here. And Ott's 10 plus, I believe she has a +3. So she will go first. I let the good guys go before the bad guys if they tie. It's just a nice little thing I do. Delg. Alright, yeah, Delg's up there. Imbar's gonna go on the slow. No, she has a +2, so Imbar's here. Delg's gonna lead us on the charge, and then we have, of course, our girl Leah. Who has a +2? She does indeed. Alright, so she does get to go before the bandit captain. Alright, so that's the setup. Room's collapsing, actively collapsing. Question mark is, does it look like the floor's gonna give? No, not yet at least. Alright. We'll put this down here. Check floor stability. So everything seems fine in this room. So, dust... Again, there's not any dust in here because... Well, does the prestidigitation's enchantment still work even though the stuff's falling apart? I think so. Yeah, very much. So there's no dust. Normally, right, things collapse, there's a bunch of dust that settles or anything like that. No, absolutely pristine clear. It's just like chunks of stone fall. And there's no dust, there's no sort of like little pebbles, gravel, anything like that. It's just giant boulders of stone that are falling. And 100% vision. It's very weird. Because of the enchantment, because it's still going. And Delg looks around. Does Delg recognize these people? He has had run-ins with them. So I think it's 50-50 shot. No. No. He doesn't. Yeah. They look like thugs. Probably recognizes the bandit captain because we just talked to him not that long ago. Probably recognizes him. But these thugs, which means he either doesn't see Gimbal or Gimbal's not there. Which is good, because we can check for Gimbal. So now we know that Gimbal's here. Speaking of which, did I have this up here? I swear I have that check somewhere. Oh, I bet it's under the exploration, isn't it? Yeah. Alright, so we're going to, at least for now, reduce that tracker, because I don't know if Gimbal's here or not. But we have had a run-in, so we're going to just straight up reduce that. Just right off the bat. So even if Gimbal's not here, Gimbal's here, in a way. Not going to be happy to see us, but don't know if they're here to deal with us. Doesn't seem like it. We'll see. The dungeon either loves me or hates me too much. Yeah. It's a really lovely adventure with many things happening. Oh, thank you. Yeah, who knows what's going to happen in this place. Yeah, I think I'm in a very toxic relationship with this dungeon. It is, it's really not good for me. For my mental health and my character's physical health. But it's fun. It's certainly that. It's certainly exciting. Not a lot of dull moments. Alright, so we're in the fight. Delg, what the heck are you gonna do, bud? I mean, this room's, as far as we can tell, is falling apart. I don't think there's any reason he doesn't just skedaddle out of here. Can he... Delg's an expert. I was gonna say, can he get out of here? Doesn't really matter. He can disengage as bonus action. So he is gonna disengage and dash. That is what he's gonna do. So Delg is back in sort of the little hallway that's in between the mausoleum and the storage room. It's a pretty short kick of a hallway. I can't imagine it's more than 30 feet. He's gonna be in there. So we're gonna put him in the hallway. So he moves out. No issues. Fall to his death. We're gonna try not to fall. That's what fall damage for. Yep. Ott. What are you gonna do? Ott's hurting pretty bad, right? Yeah, she doesn't look great. I mean, here's the thing: is that she can also disengage and dash and get the heck out of here. So she's going to do that. Sorry, I was assuming nobody got pinned by the rocks. I think getting pinned by the rocks, like grappled by the rocks already on top of having a bunch of damage on them seems like a lot. And I think that's just going to kind of slow things down. So I'm just going to assume that everybody can extricate themselves and get away. Except for maybe our bandit captain, who was prone. So he might have something. We'll see. We'll see if I make a decision about that. She dashes in the hall, gets in the hallway. So she's going to disengage and dash. So they are full into the hallway. They're at the far end of the hallway. Or somewhere in the hallway. Leah. Leah does not look good. So let's ask her a question. Can she find a route that's going to allow her to get through this room without provoking any opportunity attacks? Yes. Okay. So she's going to dash. She's also going to be in the hallway. So she's able to find a way to pick her way through there, dashing. That's going to get her into the hallway. So it might have been kind of a circuitous route to get there, but she got there. Bandit Captain. We'll just ask. Is the Bandit Captain trapped? I'm going to say that's unlikely. Only because I'm not making anybody else be trapped. Nope. Alright. Trapped. So we're going to put him... We'll put him as grappled. So let's do... Oh, man. If he's grappled against the room DC, that means he's got to make a strength check or an escape check of some sort that's going to be the DC 20. Oh, man. This guy is not in good shape. So it might be more useful for him to maybe try to attack somebody. Because he's a pretty nasty guy. Can he reach one of the thugs? Yes. All right. He's just going to attack one of them. There's, what, 7 of them? Let's roll D8. First. Okay, so he goes against the first one. Technically has disadvantage because he's on the ground. Alright, so that won't hit. And I don't know how hard are the thugs to hit, because actually they might hit. Oh, they have a DC 11. So that will hit. It's gonna hit the first thug. Yeah, T-Bandit. Bandit. There we go. So that's a scimitar attack. D6 plus 3. Maximum damage. 9. Won't kill him. Won't kill that first one. But is down to 3 hit points. Not looking good. And this one has a third attack with dagger. And that will definitely hit. I don't think there's any way he can't kill them. He also deals max damage. So this guy is get crumpled. He's got a big piece of stone that he tries to push off for a second. He's like, nope, that's not going to work. But is able to see another person next to him sort of getting up, and he just rolls over and just kind of like stabs that guy and takes his dagger and juts it into that guy, and that guy stops moving. That guy is dead. So he's still fighting. But he is prone and grappled. Let him fall into the abyss. A new unique part of the dungeon with new enemies and hopefully not die in the process. Oh, that'd be terrible. I mean, Gimble's our new enemy right now. A new old enemy. Still might be, who knows, some of this might be related to the gas. We don't know yet. It'll be interesting to find that out. That is the bandit captain. He can't really do anything because he's speed 0, so he can't move. Did his action, bonus action. Can't do anything there. Imbar. Can Imbar find a way out of this without provoking attacks of opportunity? No, she cannot. Imbar, however, pretty decent. I'm going to give Imbar an opportunity to do a perception check to see if she can tell who these people are. I guess that's probably an insight check. That's very low, though. Doesn't know who they are, but did just watch somebody stab somebody else. So, watch somebody she doesn't... Well, somebody she recognizes stab somebody she doesn't recognize. But is also not a gnoll, a goblin, an orc. Could be part of the foreign faction, don't know. I don't know. Does she... Everybody else has kind of moved out. Does she follow the group? I think this is just an intelligence check. Does she follow the group? Yep. Nope. Certainly not doing that. Certainly not doing that. Alright, well... She just watched this one guy that she does know, sort of. Or at least recognizes, stab somebody she doesn't recognize. So she's gonna go. She's like, all right, well, I'm in it, so she's doing all right, and she's pretty tough to hit. So she's gonna try to make an attack. She can move. It's not gonna be a problem. Which one does she end up getting to first? All right, number 2. Fine. We'll just make number 2 number 1. Doesn't really matter. Does she have advantage on this guy? Maybe. Yeah, okay. So she'll make an attack with advantage on that one guy. Yeah, she's definitely going to hit. Which, if she has flanking, means that she's going to get the D8 plus the 2D6. That's 3D6. So 9, 10, 11. She only has a plus 2, right? 11. So, almost kills this one guy. She... Again, probably still has the sword out. Shoves a sword right through this guy's midsection and pulls it out. It's glowing in the darkness. Now that Delg, who I think has the lantern, has moved out of the room. So there's now long shadows in the room, except for the shining beacon of her sword. She slashes through them. some sacrifice type chant or spell. Yeah, just throw a sacrifice in here. Yeah, if I had rolled differently and it didn't end up being just the floor stability and the ceiling stability, that one of the hazards could have been some sort of spell that was going to go off, or a trap or a trick. Could have been a sacrificial spell like that, which could have done who knows what, summoned something, or done some sort of blood ritual, or turned them undead. Yeah, kind of bloodthirsty today. I need bodies. So she slashes through them, but she's in the thick of it still. It's Gimbals boys. They have a lot to do. Alright, I'm going to give them morale checks for all of them. To see whether they're going to try to get out of this room, because this room's already dangerous. I think they recognize that. They're not stupid. So, morale checks, they just have to roll their charisma. So, saved. Failed. Failed. Probably saved. Saved. And failed. Okay, so 3 of these dudes are gonna boogie out of here. So that's this guy's gonna boogie. And these 2 are gonna boogie, so we go 12, 22, and 22. It's gonna be in the hallway. And those are gonna be in the room. I'm just gonna go ahead and say she's in the room as well. Alright. It's the end of the round. Time to check the floor stability. Hey, is that floor doing okay? Yeah? It's not great, though. So they're having this fight, and people are getting up and starting to move around again. There's, like, parts of the floor starting to crack and sort of open up, and we see these sort of floor tiles start to fall into openings below. Looks like, I don't know. I don't know if anybody's paying attention to looking down at it. There's a lot going on. So I don't think anybody's actually spending time to look down there to see if maybe this is... if there are support pillars, if it's like an undercroft situation, or if this falls into some sort of expanse below, if it's a natural cavern, bottomless pit. Who knows? Nobody's paying attention, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'll worry about it when people start falling in it. But for right now, the floor is okay. So everybody else was running out of the room, and everybody's back into the hallway, and then they see these guys are coming into the hallway. More of Gimbals boys are coming into the hallway as well. And they see that the flare of the sword back in the room, there's throwing shadows all over the place as Embar's fighting still in there, and they're like, oh no, Embar's still in there. So they turn around and face the 3 who have run into the hallway. Doug's up first. Doug's gonna pull out... Does he sling at them? Everybody's really hurt, though. Yeah, I think Doug is going to use a healer's kit charge on Ott. And hope that she can move up into the front and hopefully protect him. It's probably not a wide hallway, so if she moves up, they're probably not going to be able to get around her without provoking. So Doug's going to do that. His 1d6 plus 8. Well, he gets to do it once per rest, though. So, make it good. Okay, 11 hit points back. So she's up to 24. We'll put a little X there, so we know that she's gotten her healer kit. Till they rest again. Alright, that's Doug's turn. I think he moves full back. He does not want to be in this hallway. He's back in the mausoleum. So he's moved back into the mausoleum. It's Ott's turn. Ott will... I guess charge forward. There's one that looks pretty hurt. She's going to go after that one. She's going to rush in and try to give him the old stabby stab with the spear. No advantage this time. Well, that'll miss. She gets 2, though. That one will hit. Come on. Big money, big money. Dang. 7 points. So this one's real hurt. It's down to 5 hit points. Dash, disengage, help, or hide. None of those are going to be really helpful in this situation for a cunning action kind of thing. For a bonus action. So that's what she's going to do. Leah's in the hallway as well. But Leah just had a nice little rest, so... Problem is, she doesn't really have a good AoE spell. There is some crumbling here. I'll ask this, I don't think it's likely. Is there any soil in this hallway that you can use to, like... Is there enough soil that allows her to... Access to soil that allows her to do mold earth? I think that's extremely unlikely, so -5. But just in case. The answer's still yes. So that's what she's going to do. She's actually going to... So she throws out her hands and does her arcane thing, and we see just pockets, like little cracks that are like in the hallway of this underground area where you can see some of the sort of soil, topsoil and stuff. And she siphons all that in, starts pouring in from the walls and ceilings, just coming together and coming together and coming together, and rolls up into this 5-foot block in between Ott and the bad guys and the rest of Gimble's guys in there. And she sort of cuts them off. It kind of sticks Imbar in a weird place, but it does gives Ott and the rest of them some space, so they can't get swarmed by these guys. So that's what she's going to do with her turn, and then she's going to back away as well. She's going to back away all the way back into the mausoleum. Oh, sorry. These guys are in the hallway, doing the wrong thing. So she's going to move back into the mausoleum as well. Bandit Captain, prone. He's still got that one guy next to him. So, he'll take a slice at that one guy. 9's not going to do it. But that will. So the second attack hits, so he just straight up janks that one guy. Can he reach the other one? Question mark. Yes, okay. Is this the one that he can flank with... No, because Imbar just stabbed it. Well, no. Imbar's going to have to move if they wouldn't flank on that one. So he's just going to make a disadvantage attack again. Didn't matter. Rolled 2 2s. Welcome back, NADPOD style to the 2 crew. Alright, well, that's Bandit Captain. He's still pinned under this giant piece of masonry. That is Imbar's turn. She'll move around, and so she can flank with the pinned Bandit Captain, because they seem to be on the same page. They're going to work together, wordlessly, but I know you. You didn't try to kill me last time I met you. You're being attacked. We don't like these guys. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. So she's gonna move there. She's gonna make her attack with advantage. Imbar, come on! A 4 and a 2? You gotta roll better than that, girl. Alright, well, it is what it is. So she does a little flashy sword play with the shadows in the room with her light up sword. It's all for nothing in the end. It's time for Gimble's boys. There are 2 in the room. One is going to flank, the other one's going to... We're going to move into a flank train, so nobody's going to have advantage anymore for the moment. So... Do they go after the easy... Do both of them go after the easy target? Probably. No, but the answer's no. One on each then, I guess. So one of them's going to stab down to the guy that's on the ground. Will absolutely hit. What did thugs do for damage? Oh, they make 2 melee attacks. Alright, so he's gonna get a second attack as well. And I don't know if that's gonna hit, but it is D6 plus 2. Let's see. What's our handicap since AC? Oh yeah, they're gonna hit. So plus 4. Alright, can't ask for any more than that, the minimum damage. I'll take it. 6 points of damage. So to 39. Alright, well that was, oh, sorry. There's a... I screwed that up. 2 attacks. They're on Imbar. Oh, really a natural 20? Question. Yeah, I don't think... she may be too far away for silvery barbs. Let's see. I think it's 30 feet for 60 feet. So, she moved back into the mausoleum, though. Let's ask. Can she reach Imbar with the silvery barbs? I think -3. She's pretty far. She's got to be right on the edge. Yeah, she can't. Alright, Imbar's going to take some damage, then. Alright, not too bad. 14 points of damage. 14 points of damage. She's the person who can take that damage right now. It is half her hit points, but... she does have second wind. She does have second wind, though. So, keep that in mind. That's everybody. The guys in the hallway... well, one of them certainly needs to make a morale check. Alright, they're all still in the fight. How many of these guys are... there's 3 of them. How many of these guys are crawling over this... trying to crawl over? 2. Alright, so 2 of them. Is one of them the injured one? Yes, alright. So the injured one comes over first. Tries to climb over the packed soil in there, so kind of up against the ceiling, trying to pull himself forward towards Ott. Is there enough space for him to get around Ott? Maybe. No, absolutely not. So now is prone, but also up at like eye level. Well, not for Ott. Probably like mid-chest level for Ott. Ott's probably pretty close to the ceiling. She's so tall. Trying to crawl towards them. That's the only person who can get up there. And then one of these guys is going to turn back and go into the room. Is it going to go after the guy on the ground? Yes. Alright, so that guy's going to make an attack. Gonna hit. Gonna hit. Alright, 2d6 plus 4. Wow, minimum damage on the bandit captain again. For 6 points of damage. Lucky, lucky, lucky. This one could technically attack Ott, I guess, the guy that's up there. He's going to be at disadvantage, though. He's prone. So he'll attack at Ott. Gonna miss Ott. The second attack. Gonna hit Ott. That's not great. For maximum damage. 8 on Ott. That's... I mean, at least she got healed last time, so... oh, sorry. It's 18. 16. Alright, that's Gimble's boys. We're gonna have to check the floor stability. Oh, can our main character, can Leah think of something with the ring? she has bigger chances of becoming a lich, if you're thinking about it. Yeah, we're not sure. So the ring is the ring of mind shielding. We're thinking that that was some sort of trap. That was a vampire trap that was on it. But the ring itself is a ring of mind shielding, which is a very standard, uncommon magic item. So I don't think... maybe in the future, if she has time, maybe she can unlock some sort of latent abilities in the ring. But I think she was a victim of the ring. I don't know if she could be its master yet. If there's anything for her to unlock and how much of that was the psychic vampire. We'll have to figure that out. If that's a road we go down to explore. But it's certainly not something we're doing in combat. She's got more pressing concerns. Like... her party dying. Her friends dying. So... Alright, that was Gimble's boy. We gotta check the floor stability. Alright. How's that floor doing? Is it looking good? Seems to have settled. No issues so far. Okay. We're kind of living on borrowed time here. We should probably try to get out of this room. Though somebody else just came back into the room, so... Alright, but everything's okay right now. Delg's in the mausoleum. He can see that guy who... It's weird that he technically has a better chance with a sling of hitting the guy behind the cover of the of the soil who's standing up than the guy who's prone on top of the soil, because you roll with disadvantage on a prone creature. I think that's silly, so I'm going to override that as my own GM and DM. I'd be like, no, he's just going to attack the guy who can barely move, who's like at head height. He's very easy. It's probably easier to hit. I was going to have to sling right past him anyway, so it's going to be just standard attack for Delg. Didn't matter anyways. Was probably never going to hit them. Ott's there, though. Ott's going to give this guy a little stabby stab. He is prone. Yeah. I think with the crit, there's no way she can't kill this guy. So that guy is dead. So that guy's dead. For sure that guy's dead. And what is her special thing? She gets to, when she kills somebody, after killing a creature in melee on her, Ott can move 15 feet and make a bite attack. So Ott goes into her blood fury as she stabs that one guy and kills him, and grabs his body and rips him out of that space in between the ceiling and the soil block, and dives through the soil block, crawls through it, and just tries to bite the guy on the other side of it, and she goes into her blood frenzy. She is going to have disadvantage because she is prone, technically, right now. Or can... Well, no, it's only 5 feet. Is there a place for her to get down on the other side? Yeah, oh, very much so. Alright, so yeah, she hops down on the other side and tries to give him a bite attack. Crits on that guy with the bite attack. And then she's also has still another spear attack, so she'll make another spear attack. And she'll miss with the other spear attack. That's okay. I'll take the bite attack. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, 7. Alright, so she does 7 points of damage. See, this guy that's in the hallway. So he's down to 15. Now, everybody's been engaged at this point. Do we see Gimbal? Because I waited kind of late, I'm going to say probably not. I have no idea why Gimbal would be here. I'm going to say extremely not, actually. So -5. Is Gimbal here? No Gimbal's here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one of these is Gimbal? 2. I just put it right here. Gimbal's in here. So Gimbal is in here. He's in the room. He's one of the ones that's fighting with Imbar right now. So Ott's back in the hallway. Yeah, that's it. She did her bonus action. She did her action. She's good. Actually, she didn't use her bonus action. She had a free action to do her run and bite. So that's Ott. Leah's back in the mausoleum. She can see the person that they're fighting. She'll just try to get a good old firebolt. Alright. Helpful, Leah. Thanks. Though I think at this point she will drop. She's just going to drop the soil block. That's not going to be helpful for us. So we watch that soil sort of recede back into the walls as it no longer blocks the passage. Bandit Captain. Bandit Captain is prone. Bandit Captain does have people to fight. 1, 2, or 3. I don't... We'll just go against 1, because it's the one that's in front. This guy. So not Gimbal. And make few attacks. Disadvantage, though. Well, actually, no. It was flanking, so now they're just straight attacks. Miss. Miss. No, he has a +5. So, miss, hit, hit. So, a D6 and a D4. Both of those are +3. Alright, so 12 points of damage on this guy. So he's hurt pretty badly. That's all his attacks, that's all he can do while he's on the ground. He has to roll so high. He has to roll an 18 or better to get out from under that rock. He's not going to be able to do that during combat. So he's basically stuck at disadvantage and trying not to die while he's down there. Which has worked out for him so far because it keeps taking minimum damage, but cursing every guy who has anything to do with it. Yeah. Yeah. So that was our bandit captain. That's Imbar. Imbar's in the room. So she's going to be the first one who's going to clock Gimbal. I guess we'll put Gimbal. I know I put him there, but we should put him as probably this guy, because the one who really hasn't been in combat, who was in the room, then left in the hallway, then couldn't get through in the hallway, then came back into the room. So I think that makes more sense to now being the first time that they can really sort of clock Gimbal. But she is definitely going to go against the one that she has advantage on first. And she will definitely hit that one. And probably kill this guy. Oh yeah, on the dice. Just chops that guy's head off. Just, the moonblade goes, shh, head rolls off into there. Blood splatters everywhere and then is immediately cleaned up by prestidigitation still. We gotta keep this room clean as it's falling apart and we kill people. But that person's dead. She doesn't have an offhand weapon. I think she is going to clock Gimbal at that point, though. And as she clocks Gimbal, she's going to turn around and, "You're mine, you little shit." Because he's a halfling, right? If I recall. I think he's either a halfling or a gnome, I can't remember. He's short of stature. And she points her moon blade at him. That's it for Imbar. There's nothing else she can do. She moves to engage Gimbal. So that'll be a fight 1-1. She's, I guess that's a good question. Is she more concerned with Gimbal than the guy that's on the ground? I think that's 50-50. Could go either way. Oh, she's much more concerned with Gimbal. She's gonna murder him. That is her plan. Yeah, I mean, his guys have done some stuff to them. So, that makes sense. Alright, Gimbal's people, they all need to make morale checks, or at least 2 of them. No, I guess all of them. I'm going to give them advantage because Gimbal's still there, which is technically disadvantage because they're trying to roll under their charisma. So the first one, yep, in the fight, Gimbal. Gimbal's probably going to run. The guy that's in the hallway, in the fight. Gimbal disengages and starts to run. And can run probably all the way past Ott into the hallway. So Gimbal, out of the room, into the hallway. And he's actively trying to get away. But the other 2 are still in there. One of them, the one that's in there, there's no reason he's not going to attack the person who's laying on the floor. He's such an easy target. Gets advantage on those attacks. Gonna hit. Gonna hit. 12 points of damage to our bandit captain. Not looking great, but okay, actually. Monsters have so many more hit points than player characters. Sometimes it's really unfair, these sorts of fights. Like, there's no way that any of my characters could have taken 20 points of damage right off the top from the hazard, and then basically get hit every round of combat and still be awake. Not be, like, permadead. Alright, so that one's in the room stabbing away. One's in the hallway fighting with Ott, the one that just kind of bleeding profusely. Big chunk kind of taken out of their chest and neck from Ott in her blood rage. It's gonna fight. Stirred as his boss appears next to him, even though his boss is like running past him. It's like, oh, boss is coming to help me. Alright. I can really do it. Does he have advantage? Question mark? No. Okay. Gimble's not going to be helpful in this. So he'll make a couple of attacks. That one will miss. This one, I believe, will hit. Yeah, they got a +3. So she's going to get hit once with a mace. Ow, for 7 points of damage. Alright, down to 11. Not looking good. Not looking good. Yeah, that's everybody there. Which means it's time to check the floor stability again. Ooh. The floor's still good. Thank goodness. Alright. Alright, Imbar, I think we get... You're gonna chase Gimbal. You gotta get out of this room. I don't think we're gonna get a fourth floor's okay check. So we're gonna get out of there. The time to leave is now. Get Bill some other way. Coward. All for their relationship, even if it's very violent. It's funny. It's funny. I like that. Alright, back at the top, because the floor is gonna keep holding, apparently. Somehow. Delg's in the mausoleum. Delg can't do anything for Ott. Could technically heal Leah. Probably needs to heal Leah. So that's what he's gonna do. He gets a d6 plus 8. Alright. Another 11. But that takes her up to 18, because if somebody runs down that hallway into the mausoleum, they'll just KO Leah, and that's not helpful. Del, how are you doing on hit points, buddy? No, you're gonna hang out in the back with Leah. Alright. Ott, in the hallway, in the blood rage. Already bit that one guy. There's no way she's gonna stop attacking that guy. Well, natural 1's not going to help her, but the 12's definitely going to hit. For 6 points of damage. She keeps whittling away at this one guy. Gimbal, I think, is freaking out. This is not a situation Gimbal's used to being where he doesn't have control of the situation. He's very, very much a in-charge, in-control kind of guy. And he does not have control. He is in way over his head and things are not going his way. Leah. She's in the mausoleum. She sees Gimbal there now. She clocks him. Couldn't see him because he's short and there was the soil, right? And then people. But now she can see him. But Ott's not engaging with him yet. How badly does she want to deal with Gimbal? That's pretty bad. She wants to deal with Gimbal pretty badly. So she is not going to do what would be the probably smart thing and focus fire. But she is instead going to dump 5 charges of magic missile into Gimbal. So she's going to dump 5d4 plus 5 into Gimbal. She grabs her, she clocks him and goes, "You'll..." I don't know if she's really says anything to him. Except for maybe fuck you. So she's just gonna unload on him. Alright, so 18 points of damage straight to Gimbal. Magic Missile just does the damage. Nearly kills Gimbal in one shot. Just absolutely hammers him with boo 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 boo. And he probably, yeah, why not? I can give him a strength saving throw. Alright, yeah, he keeps his footing. But the charge nearly knocks him over. It's such a barrage. That's Leah. That's really all she can do on her turn. Bandit Captain. Prone. Still fighting. There's one guy left in the room. Gonna make some disadvantage attacks against him. Gonna hit. Gonna hit. Gonna miss. That's okay. That's 14 points of damage to that one guy in the room. So you really don't want to be the guy in the room who's getting his ass kicked by another guy who's on his back under a rock and he's still kicking your ass. All right, he can't go anywhere. He's still grappled, proned. He's gonna need help to probably get out of there. Imbar. Imbar's in the room. Now, we said that she really wanted to get Gimbal. So, actually, he technically wouldn't have had this. No, he had disadvantage. He had disadvantage. They were not flanking. So she is going to move, which I think is going to provoke an attack of opportunity against her. No way. That didn't hit her. And she charges into the hallway, pinning Gimbal in between herself and... well, does she get flanking from Ott? Is there enough room? No. But she's going to run down Gimbal and try to give him a good attack with the sword. Gimbal's dead. He's not going to survive that. I mean, technically she could roll a 1. She rolls a 1, he's still up. That's not a 1. So Gimbal's going back and forth. He gets buffeted by these magic missiles, trying to find a way to get around Ott, who is in her blood frenzy, just like ripping this other guy apart, by ripping this guy to shreds. A huge chunk taken out. He's just a bloody mess as she's just stabbing him and trying to rip him apart with her teeth. And Gimbal's freaking out because he's stuck, and then he knows, then there's those footsteps behind him, the thump, 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 thump. And then just a blade just slams through his chest, and drives him to the ground. And his eyes go dark. And Gimbal is no more. Just as we killed Norkruth, we have now killed Gimbal. He did. So, you know how I said there was that tracker on Gimbal? We're going to go ahead and take that off, because, he did. Not going to have to worry about that anymore. He finally showed up. And not... What's very weird is that he ran into us unexpectedly. He was clearly not trying to find us at that point. He was here for some other reason. We don't know what that was. And stumbled into the people that he really wanted to kill because we'd screwed up a bunch of jobs for him. Let go all his slaves. We did all sorts of stuff. We screwed up his deal with the gas for the dragon. He's not happy with us. And we just put him down. We knew he was going to come back for us. We just not the way we expected that ending confrontation to go. It's this weird three-way fight. But hey, that's what happened. So, Gimbal dead. Alright, well that's Imbar. Imbar will disengage and move around to flank with Ott on the one guy that's left in the hallway. So she's in the hallway now. Now the real poetic justice is going to be that now that everybody else is out of the room, that guy, the bandit captain who's probably in the room, is probably gonna... The floor's probably gonna collapse. It's probably gonna kill him. Unfortunately. I'd really like to save him. One of those sort of like the Kobold Dragon Shield we came across earlier. It's like, there's NPC that proves their worth, they're tough, and you're like, I kind of want that person for my team, if I can get them on my team. Unfortunately, too high of a level to be a sidekick, but very, very fun. I would love to have him along for the rest of the adventure if we could, but we'll see if we can save him or not. That was Imbar. Alright, there is a guy in the room. He needs to make a saving throw. I think he's going to make this with disadvantage, which is technically advantage. Because he is way outnumbered. The guy that's on the ground is kicking his butt. He is outmatched by a guy who's prone to under a rock. The rest of his buddies around him are dead. His boss just got skewered. I don't think there's any reason why he'd want to be in here. He's nearly dead. Yeah, he's going to boogie. That guy in the hallway, same situation. Yeah. So they're both going to try to run. The guy in the hallway is going to disengage and make a run for it, so he's going to get back into the mausoleum. That's as far as he can get. And the guy in the room is going to make it into the hall. He's got no place to go. He's stuck between this room and a raging gnoll, bloodthirsty gnoll, and another murderous lady who just watched run down and skewer his boss. But he has to go through them if he wants to get out of here. Not a great place to be. I am not envious of that guy. Honestly, actually, let's just ask. I didn't do this, but I think this one guy's going to try to run. I think he's got an opportunity to run, and I think he's going to try to take it. This person, I don't think can run. I don't think that he's like, there's no way I'm going to get past that gigantic Nolan's blood frenzy and that fully plate armored lady that's right next to it. Like, there's no way I'm getting through those two. Over the bodies that are there. Then plus the other two who are at the other end of that hallway. Does this guy just surrender? Yeah. This guy just throws down his weapon and surrenders. He's like, fuck. I give up. I'm sorry. I surrender. So this guy's gonna be out of combat. He's not gonna do anything. Alright, time to check that floor stability. Does the floor hold? The floor does not hold. The floor gives way. We see our bandit captain. He's struggling. Everybody's moved away from him. He's finally getting the rock off of him. And he feels the floor give way underneath him. He looks down the hallway at them and is like, and falls into the blackness below. Sorry, bud. Could be alive. Probably dead, but could be alive. If anybody goes and looks for him. And depending on how far he fell. Alright, that's top of the round. That's Delg. Oh, this one guy just ran into the mausoleum with those two. Delg drops his sling and grabs his spear and tries to stab this guy. They're not very good at intimidating. Otherwise, I'd have them try to intimidate that person, but he's got, like, commoner stats. He's terrible at most everything. So instead, he's just going to try to stab this guy. He's going to do it. For 2 points of damage. That's all he gets. So this guy's running down the hall looking frantic, and Delg sees him coming. Delg throws down his sling, grabs his spear, and just tries to pin this guy against the wall, just trying to stab him into the wall. Stab him. Ott's in the hallway. We did say Ott's in a blood frenzy. Does she recognize surrender? I think it's unlikely. She does, though. Wow, okay. So she recognizes that guy's surrendering. So then she turns around and jumps on the one that Delg's got pinned. Yeah, let's say she can move into a position where she's going to have advantage on it. So she'll have her own spear. Does she have +4 to hit? I think so. She has exactly a +4 to hit. So she hits with one because they have a very low AC. And she hits with the second one. There's no way this dude is still alive. He is not. And she rips that guy apart. And then, of course, she has her blood frenzy action. She just rips his throat out. He's dying on the ground. Alright, that guy's dead. So the floor collapses. So question, when the floor collapses, is the enchantment still going? I think that's extremely unlikely at this point. Yeah, no. So finally, dust fills into the hallway from everything kind of collapsing. And they're kind of stuck there in the hallway. They were otherwise got very pristinely clean there at one point. But now they're back covered with dust. And they start to slowly circle around the one thug who has surrendered, dropped his weapon, and gone down on his knees and been like, please, I'm sorry. Just let me live. Alright. We'll do a little bit of interrogation, I think. And I think we're going to leave that interrogation for next time. So, this is very fun. Well, actually, do we want to go check on the bandit captain? I think Imbar is interested in that. We know that Gimbal is dead. Imbar has that sort of brothers in arms sort of thing. You know, they're blooded together. She goes to at least see if she can see the guy before we quit. So she's going to run over the edge and look down. She'll take Delg's lantern. She's the only one who needs it anyways. It runs over to the edge and peers down into the hole where this room used to be and is now just dropped. Can we see our bandit captain? Yes. Okay, so if we can see our bandit captain, he can't be a bottomless pit. Can we get to it within a rope? No, so it's a little bit further than a rope. So it's got to be at least 50 feet. So let's do like a D100 and then we'll like double it, I guess. So it'd be 20, so like it's like 80 feet down. Alright, that means when this guy fell, he took 8d6 damage. Yeah, he took 27 points of damage. That guy is toasty oats. That guy is dead. Yeah, I think they see. She looks down and she can see down there, and she sees his crushed and mangled body. Well, damn. All right, well, I think that's where we're going to end it. So we'll do like the treasure rolls and all that stuff next time because we're going to run a little long in the tooth now. But thanks for hanging out, and I was really hoping we get that bandit captain. We could at least talk to him and get some information. But we do have one hostage, one prisoner, so we can ask them some questions. Maybe we can figure out what the heck Gimbal's doing down here, why he's here. Because clearly was not looking for us. That seemed to be some sort of side effect thing. Maybe it has something to do with a foreign faction. Gimbal's a pretty entrepreneurial kind of guy, or was an entrepreneurial kind of guy. Could have been something for the Ghast, since we found him in sort of like the mausoleum section. Could have been on an errand from the Ghast. Could be a lot of things. We don't know what that is. We'll figure that out next time. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. It's always fun. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It got real weird. But always fun. Other things. We're going to do more of sort of the more DM craft kind of stuff. So if you're interested in sort of the way that I play this game and that sort of stuff, there's plenty of those videos over on YouTube. You can watch lots of that. We talk about that. If you want to go more in depth than some of those videos are, there's of course the blog over at redraggedfiend.com. There is X, which I don't use enough. You can always harass me there, and maybe I'll actually use it more, that platform. Other things are going on. Coffee, that's ko-fi.com/redraggedfiend if you want to support me financially. Throw me a few bucks if you enjoy the content. Otherwise, liking, sharing, subscribing, all that stuff is super helpful, especially sharing. If you want to throw it out on Reddit or your preferred RPG forum, whether that's Ian World or D&D Beyond or wherever you want to spend your time, Roll20, etc. Anything else that we want to talk about? Oh, I've got some pay what you want titles on DriveThruRPG, so if you want some free resources or you want to support me with a few dollars there and get something in return, you can check that out too. I think that's it. I'll see you guys next time. I don't know what the next video is about, and then we'll clean up this notes and we'll figure out what's going to be happening and what is going to be our session number session 40 of the Solo RPG. And we're going to figure out what's going on in this dungeon. This dungeon is taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to. I thought by this point we'd be done with the full dungeon. We are more than halfway done with it. But not much more than... We're about 55 to 60% done. Yeah. Alright. That's it for me. I enjoyed this. I'll see you guys next time. Have fun. Bye-bye.